The Golden State Warriors have a record of around 500 at the time of this video. They have shown great promise thus far, and they definitely are in a better situation than last year at this early point in the season. The question, though, is this: can Steph Curry sustain his greatness for the rest of the season? This is going to be the first time Steph has had to shoulder such a huge load because before last year, everyone was healthy, young, and they had veteran players like Andre Iguodala and Sean Livingston coming off the bench, so Steph Curry didn't have much of a burden to bear in comparison to this year. Klay Thompson is injured, Draymond and Steph are still great, but you have a young and somewhat inexperienced bench. This year is totally new for Curry. In this video, we'll talk about the Golden State Warriors and are they relying too much on Steph Curry. We'll deep dive into how some of his teammates can improve, some trades they can make to boost the team, and how they can make the playoffs or at least get to a top 4 seed to get home court advantage in the first round. But before that, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and smash that notification bell to get updates on my latest NBA content. The Warriors have been winning and losing somewhat inconsistently. While Curry is phenomenal in all of those games, win or lose, he may need some additional help from his teammates. Number 1. Kelly Oubre Jr. Kelly may not be draining his threes, but his energy on the defensive side and hustle is a great addition for the Warriors this season. With his long arms, he's averaging 1 steal and 1 block per game, and he has the athleticism to finish around the basket and draw fouls. The only thing he needs is to stop settling for threes. Number 2. Damian Lee. Damian Lee is actually part of the Curry family because he's married to Steph Curry's sister, so he is expecting you to support, bro. Kidding aside, Damian Lee has already hit a game-winning shot and is quietly having a nice season off the bench. Lee is knocking down 2 triples a game at 40% shooting from the three-point line. But Lee has to be a better defender when he plays. The Warriors have no problem scoring, it's the defensive side where they need help. Number 3. Eric Pascal. Eric Pascal is vital for the Warriors this season. He may not be averaging 14 points per game compared to last season, but he's somewhere near that ballpark, averaging around 12 points per game. Last year, they didn't have Steph and Draymond Green. This year, they do, so 12 points per game coming off the bench is not bad, but it can be better. Number 4. Andrew Wiggins. This last player has to show the Warriors and the whole NBA why he was drafted number 1. Wiggins is playing relatively well for the team, but isn't as big a star as Steph Curry. His years with the Timberwolves were decent, but it felt like he could elevate his play more. Now, playing for the Warriors, he doesn't have that much pressure to perform, but that doesn't mean he can just coast and rely on Steph. Andrew Wiggins has the potential to be a star with this Warriors team. He's shooting the ball quite well this year at 45% from the field and 40% from the three-point line. The only thing he needs to do is be more consistent and aggressive. He's no Klay Thompson, but he will need to do more in order for them to make the playoffs. Do you think these players can step up to help Steph? Share your thoughts in the comment section and leave a like if you're liking this video so far. If ever the following teammates of his don't step up, the next option for the Warriors is to trade for players to give Steph some needed help. Here are some players they could consider trading for. Number 1. Buddy Hield. Buddy has been a dynamic scorer ever since he was traded to the Kings. He has been averaging 17.4 points, 4.4 rebounds while shooting 44.4% from the field and 41.2% from the three-point line. His shooting ability is a great addition for any team, especially the Warriors. Besides Steph, the Warriors have not been a great three-point shooting team. With the addition of Buddy, you can have another deadly shooter for the Warriors. But this trade does not help them defensively because Buddy is known to be a three-point scorer and isn't exactly a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Number 2. George Hill for Brad Wanamaker, Kevin Looney, and cash considerations. George Hill may be 34 years old now, but he still is an impact veteran player in this league. Last year, he led the league in three-point percentage, shooting 46%. If he gets a chance to play for the Warriors where the system is all about the three and hitting the open man, he will be a big boost off the bench. He can facilitate for the second unit and be a playmaker alongside Steph. The Warriors are a lot younger compared to previous years, so a veteran like George Hill would help the young guys on this roster. The only downside of this trade is that they will lose another center where they are already thin at that spot. Number 3. Jeremy Grant or Delon Wright. This trade makes sense for the Warriors if they want to contend for another championship. Jeremy Grant is quickly showing the NBA why he declined to go back to the Denver Nuggets by averaging career highs in points, rebounds, assists, minutes, and all his shooting percentages. He has shown that he's now a reliable go-to guy, scoring 20-plus points in 10 games. In the new system of the Warriors, he would be a consistent second option that they would need for Steph Curry. Now, Delon Wright would be a great pickup because he's a reliable point guard coming off the bench and can play alongside Steph, similar to what George Hill can do. With this trade, I can see no disadvantages for the Warriors. Both players help defensively and can contribute right away for them on offense. After losing to the Knicks, Steve Kerr was clearly disappointed Draymond was ejected, but his team didn't respond back. Obviously, Draymond is one of the most impactful players, so it hurt us that he was not out there. But we were playing poorly to that point anyway. I'm not going to talk about the officiating. I'm going to talk about our poor play. We fouled too much. You can't win if you're dead last in the league in teams' free throws allowed against an opponent. You can't win games if you constantly foul the opponent. You always have to inbound the ball from the basket after the free throws. It's hard to build a rhythm at all. We had 4 fouls in the first 55 seconds of the first quarter. We're undisciplined, right? And we have to find a way to defend without fouling. Steve is right about the rhythm part. The Warriors are a fast, open court style team, so getting stops and turnovers is the best way to build a rhythm on the offensive side of the ball. Without a reliable, low-post scorer at the moment, they don't have that luxury of playing a slow, half-court kind of offense. When they had KD, they could always give it to him because he's a walking bucket. I feel like Wiseman has the potential to be that player or close enough to be a consistent low-post threat. Have you watched my video, Why James Wiseman Will Be a Superstar in the NBA? If not, go and watch it for a more detailed analysis on why Wiseman can be the difference maker for the Warriors this season. With all the things I said about what changes the team and his teammates need to make, Steph has to change his game too. I know he's the greatest shooter of all time and he can pull up from 40, but he needs to facilitate more. He needs to lessen his turnovers and he has to defend better. If he does those things, and the Warriors are at least a top 4 team, I believe he can be an MVP candidate this year. Do you think the Warriors are relying on Steph Curry too much? Do these trades and changes make sense for them to make the playoffs? Tell us what you think in the comments down below, and once again, make sure to leave a like on this video and hit that subscribe button. Thank you for watching.